Okay, let's kick things off with a machine that is just truly epically huge.
I want you to try and picture a 900-ton machine. To put that in perspective, that's like taking 6 blue whales, or about 15 heavy military tanks, and forging them all into one single piece of equipment.
Now, give that machine the raw power of over 4,000 horses. I mean, that is more force than you'd find in 3 Bugatti Veyron supercars, all revving at once.
And finally, imagine it scooping up over 52 cubic meters of earth in a single pass. That's enough to fill an entire backyard swimming pool with just one scoop of its bucket. This beast is the RH400, one of the biggest hydraulic excavators ever built.
So you have to ask, where did this incredible tech come from? Well, it wasn't dreamed up in some modern Silicon Valley lab. The answer is this amazing story of innovation, of survival, and of a brilliant industrial legacy that's basically hiding in plain sight.
To find that answer, we've got to go all the way back to 1876 in Berlin. That's where 2 entrepreneurs, Benno Ornstein and Arthur Koppel, started a company that was focused on something much, much smaller, light, narrow-gauge railways for things like mines and plantations.
You know, the story of O&K is really a story of constant adaptation. They went from railways to their first steam shovel in 1908, and then they jumped on the diesel trend in the 20s. But their biggest challenges, well, they were geopolitical. Because the company had Jewish founders, it was targeted by the Nazi regime. And then, after the war, their assets were split between East and West Germany, which left the western half literally fighting for its life. This whole crucible of change, it set the stage for a really dramatic pivot.
So, with all its pre-war assets in the East now gone, the part of O&K that survived in West Germany, they needed a massive technological leap forward just to stay in the game. They couldn't compete on volume anymore. They had to out-innovate everybody else.
And this right here, this was the company's defining moment. In 1961, they bet everything, I mean everything, on a brand new technology and launched the RH5. And wow, was that a gamble that paid off? Within just a decade, they weren't just making regular construction equipment, they were building absolute giants like the RH60 for the really high-stakes mining industry.
The impact was just staggering. O&K didn't just join a market, it literally created the entire European market for hydraulic excavators. This one single product redefined the company and pretty much secured its future for decades to come.
And after that initial breakthrough, the scale of their success was just immense. O&K went on to produce over 55,000 hydraulic excavators, shipping them all over the globe. They had found their sweet spot and they were ready to own it.
So this incredible success, it was all driven by a core piece of intellectual property, a kind of secret weapon that made their biggest machines uniquely efficient and powerful, especially in the toughest environments imaginable.
They called it the Tri-Power System. It was this patented piece of engineering genius, and really, it's the reason other companies were eventually willing to pay billions to get their hands on O&K's tech.
What was so great about it? Well, the system solved 3 huge problems at once. It boosted digging force, it automatically kept the bucket stable so nothing spilled out, and the combination of those 2 things made loading cycles way, way faster. And for a huge mining operation, that extra speed translates directly into millions and millions of dollars.
And this wasn't just theory, you know? Out in the real world, in places like the punishing Canadian oil sands, this efficiency meant incredible performance, moving literal mountains of material at record-breaking speeds. This was their technological crown jewel. It really was an incredible transformation. Just think about it. A company that started out making these small, simple field railways had over a century focused its entire value and identity into building some of the largest, most technologically advanced machines on the entire planet.
And you know what? O&K's management, they knew exactly what their most valuable asset was. So they started this methodical process of just selling off everything else, their original railway business, even a successful escalator division, all to focus the company's value purely on that high-tech excavator business.
The final act really played out over 2 decades. It was a systematic sale of the company, piece by piece. First went the railways, then the escalators, then their general construction equipment, until the only thing left was the most valuable high-tech mining division.
Which brings us to the final part of this whole journey, tracing that billion-dollar technology from its German roots all the way to its current home, inside another industrial giant.
And right here, you can see the immense value of O&K's tech reflected in these massive acquisitions. In 2009, a company called Bucyrus paid $1.3 billion for it. Then, just 1 year later, Caterpillar turns around and acquires Bucyrus for a staggering $7.6 billion, in large part just to get their hands on that same mining technology.
And here it is. This is the payoff to our whole story. The ghost in the machine is Ornstein and Koppel. Its engineering DNA, specifically that RH platform and that amazing tri-power system, that's the secret sauce that makes those giant yellow Caterpillar excavators so powerful and efficient today.
I mean, just think about this incredible journey. From a small railway company, O&K survived world wars and the division of its own country. It revolutionized an entire industry with a single product, dominated the high-end mining market with its unique tech, and then ultimately saw that technology become a core part of the world's leading equipment manufacturer.
This whole story really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The O&K name is mostly gone from the industry today, but its core ideas are still out there moving mountains all around the world. So what other powerful, game-changing ideas from the past are hiding in plain sight, living on as ghosts in the machines we all rely on every single day?